Crocodile is one of the most iconic villains in the history of One Piece, and one of the first to push Luffy beyond his limits. However, his early defeat in the series, paired with his portrayal of immense strength, gives fans the feeling that Luffy's victory over him makes little to no sense. I am here to argue that this is not exactly the case. First, you need to understand Crocodile's character. He is extremely overconfident. I mean, he straight up attacked Whitebeard for God's sake, and he's arrogant. And this arrogance is what drove Crocodile to kind of show Luffy up, to show him how much better at his devil fruit he was, because to be real, Crocodile is very fragile. He once told Nico Robin that he had killed everyone who had ever insulted him, and when Luffy called him stupid, he threatened to kill Robin for laughing. And when he saw some amateur devil fruit users seriously think he could beat him, he got offended. Also, when Crocodile is angry with an opponent, he will not kill them, he will let them suffer. This is evident with both Luffy and Mr. 3, which in both of those cases kind of backfired on him. And since Crocodile also loves to toy with opponents weaker than him, he really isn't one for quickly killing someone, which is pretty ironic since the second command, Mr. 1, is an assassin. But this should already show you that the outcome of Luffy and Crocodile's first two fights makes sense. The first had Croc leaving Luffy to die a painful death by quicksand, while the other time Croc left Luffy to die of dehydration, and in both cases Luffy just happened to luck out. But people aren't really doubting that part, more so how Luffy is even able to damage Crocodile in the first place when he is still relatively weak, and I will get to that, but I felt like I should just clear that up first. Another thing I feel like I need to clear up is the notion that Crocodile didn't deserve to be a warlord, and that is just ridiculous. Well, I mean, he obviously didn't deserve it since he directly betrayed the world government, but I mean more so that he didn't deserve to be offered the position in the first place. People who think this are quick to bring up his low 81 million berry bounty, but of course that is a frozen bounty, and it is very likely that if Croc didn't join the warlords, that his bounty would have increased. Also, Crocodile being a Logia in and of itself is a huge factor to his value, since Logia is the rarest type of devil fruit, and a Logia user can take out most non-hockey users with relative ease. And on top of that, Ace's bounty around the time he got offered the position was 100 million, which wasn't far from Crocodile's. But anyway, let's get into why exactly Luffy's punches did so much to Crocodile, or rather why Crocodile was so weak that Luffy was able to damage him. And the real answer to this is just that he relied on his devil fruit too much. I mean, he's a confirmed Haki user now, but back then we didn't really see any clear signs of him using Haki during his fight with Luffy. And I think that the most likely reason for this is because he spent a majority of his time not learning Haki but honing his Suna no Mi, and quite possibly awakening it. I mean, think about it for a second. Crocodile has the ability to absorb the moisture out of anything he touches with his right hand. That is not normal for a Logia user. A Logia fruit only allows you to change your own body, not your surroundings. But do you know what would allow you to change your environment? An awakened devil fruit. And if Crocodile's fruit is awakened, then it must have taken a lot of training for him to achieve that. Training that he did instead of mastering Haki. Although there is some evidence for him knowing basic observation Haki too. Crocodile is able to unconsciously turn into sand, which is a feat not shown with other Logias like Ace and Smoker. This could mean that Croc was a user of observation Haki, although my personal belief is that in Croc's training of his devil fruit he gained an ability that used Haki without realizing it. And I know some of you may be thinking, well, why wouldn't Crocodile have known Haki then? I mean, he had been to the New World before staying in Alabasta. And to answer that, let's remember what happened to him in the New World. He got beaten by Whitebeard. And after being beaten, Crocodile decided to go back and remain in paradise. Now, to have survived in the New World until his encounter with Whitebeard, sure, he most likely had to know Haki. But once he fled the New World and went back to paradise, what point would there be to using Haki? There would be practically no Haki users there, so his devil fruit would be enough to take out any foe. So it is completely possible that Crocodile had known Haki at one point before Alabasta, but once he stayed in Alabasta, he probably never used it, only relying on his devil fruit to toy with and torture his opponents. And let's be real, his devil fruit was much better at that. And this leads me to my final point, which is that, to put it simply, Crocodile got rusty. I mean, he didn't encounter any opponent who would be able to so much as touch him for years upon years until he fought Luffy. And even if he was super strong back then, not having to ever really exert any effort at all in a fight during his entire time as a warlord would slowly weaken him down. And since he would never really get injured at all either, even a punch from someone as weak as Alabasta Saga Luffy would be able to do damage to him. And even then, Croc's arrogance prevented him from taking the fight seriously at all until the last moments, where it was just too late. Additionally, Crocodile was also very flustered because, like I said, he was not used to taking damage, so having an opponent that could hit him probably caused him psychological damage too, along with the fact that the plan he had worked on for years was on the verge of collapse. And it's not like Luffy one-shot him or anything either. Croc was still able to take hits from him. It was only when he got hit with that flurry of punches at Gomu Gomu no Storm that he got defeated. And that is why Luffy's defeat of Crocodile makes sense. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.